Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Know 360, show hosted by me, Annette, the warm hearted warrior diva. This show gives you insights on the journeys of high achieving business owners and music artists who share with our audience the importance of building a strong community of like minded individuals on the road to greater success. Today's show is a collaboration between In the Know 360 and King Jacob. Welcome, King Jacob.
Hello, thank you for having me on the show.
We've had you before. Um,
Yes.
well, I want to note that King Jacob, and we're going off script today, y'all, is from Aurora, Colorado, and we know that he just released his latest music or EP on rotation. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, sir?
Yeah. I'm a wonderful guy. Basically, I mean, my day to day, King Jacob's day to day is basically filled with a lot of me time. You know, I'm a father. I have three kids. I have a beautiful daughter that's going to college. She's 20, and then I have another son who's 23. He's kind of owns his own business right now, so I'm really proud of him. And then I have my youngest daughter who's 15, um, and she plays basketball, different sports. She just got wrapped up volleyball. She's getting ready to start playing basketball soon here. So that's a lot of my time goes to her since her brother and sister are adults and they do whatever they want now. And then on top of that, I just work on music, my perfecting my craft, and then a lot of business stuff too. But we won't talk business. This is only for music right here too. But I do a lot of different business things. Um, but yeah, so as of right now, I just released an EP called Rotation. You can stream it on all platforms. Yeah, I really am excited and I'm impressed with the response that I'm getting from people. It makes me feel really happy to hear people and they're like, some people are like, oh, you do music? Oh, okay. And then they hear it and they're like, oh, no, you do music. So, I'm pretty excited about that. And so I've got a few other things in the works right now. None of my stuff, but just working with other people and their projects and different things like that. So actually, probably soon after I get done here, I'm going to jump on doing some more work for some other people. So trying to stay busy, and that's me.
Okay, well, thank you for the intro. I know that you guys, he's just being modest right now, but he is a definitely a superhero out here because he does help the community. His background is EMT, right? I
Hmm.
hope that I
Yes.
remember. So he
Yep.
saves lives. So he's saving lives as well. Well,
And
oh, go ahead.
yes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm an EMT as well. I didn't bring that up to par. I used to work in the ER. Worked in 911. Now I work in the ER. Really, literally trying to hold people together. And then yeah, now I just run some clinics around the Denver metro area as well for older people so that they can get their feet done, get their feet taken care of because you got to have a stable foundation.
Oh, yes. Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you for coming on tonight to End of No 360. And if you're ready, I can go ahead and start the questionnaire.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it.
All right. So the first question is, who or what inspired you to start your career in the music industry?
Uh, Michael Jackson was a very huge influence that got me on the road to be like, I want to do what he's doing. So I was trying to moonwalk for several years till I realized I can't moonwalk. Now I can do it now, but I was just like, I can't moonwalk. I'm gonna do all this stuff. So Michael Jackson was a big influence towards me. I was heavily influenced and inspired in church. There's a lot of different people that got to watch sing, and I joined the choir, and that was my first into. So very inspired by that. And then my mom. My mom was actually one of the people that I always thought that she had a beautiful voice, and she was like, "Nah, I can't sing." And actually, I recently had this conversation with her where I was just like, "Mom, why is it? How come you never went and sang?" And she was like, "Because somebody told me I couldn't." And I was like, "Huh." I never wanted to be that person that was listening to anybody else tell me what I can't do. Plus, I'm a Sagittarius, so yeah, please try to tell me what to do, and you will get 86 real quick.
Uh-oh.
So
I don't know. I'm a Leo too, so I think we're both in the same boat.
yeah, I'm the same. Yep, exactly, exactly.
Well, can you recollect the exact moment that you knew you wanted to pursue this career path?
Yes. I know I was after high school, and the reality set in that I wasn't gonna like. I went to go try to go play some college ball, but I realized I wasn't very passionate in college football anyway. And I was like, I didn't want to, I wasn't as passionate as I was in that. And I had a group of friends that I was hanging out. One of them just made music all the time, and I was just like, man, I've always wanted to make music. You know what I mean? So I told my man Chappelle, is his name. I was like, dude, he was producing beats, and he was like, we can get on some this and that. And his music was out of this world. It was like before its time. I
Mm.
wish that he still was making music. I don't know specifics of what he's doing. I don't really talk to him. But he had very like before like I'm talking about, how rappers are singing, these futures are out here like rapping and doing their thing. He was doing that back then, you know what I mean? And everybody was like, it's so out of the box. Nobody knew what to do with them. Even labels were like, I don't know what to do with this dude. You know what I mean? Who do we push this to? And back then it was like, you have a label behind you and to push you to doing what you're doing. Nowadays it's more free lane, like you do whatever you want for the most part. And if somebody likes it, they like it, so it's a lot open. But he was doing that back then. So um yeah, that was just the beginning of. I think I was about 19, and I started realizing I had a knack to write hooks. So I was just like, man, come to me for your hook. You need a hook? I got you. I sang everybody's hook, or I did something here, or I did something there. And during that time, I was just really trying to figure out what my voice was going to be like. But yeah, that was a beautiful moment for me to discover and realize like, hey, this is it. This is what I want to do. You know, there were some bumps and some blips along the road. Got married, started a family, which took me way back out of that situation. And then I was just like, you know what? I think I was about 37 years old. I'm aging myself now too. But I was about 37 years old when I realized that I could do it again. And my son was like, "Yo, Dad, we recorded this song. We uploaded this thing called SoundCloud." And I'm all like, "What is
Huh.
SoundCloud?" I almost cussed too. I was like, SoundCloud. But I was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna show y'all how to rap." And they're like, "Oh, you can't rap that. What? Well, yeah, you're a dad. You don't rap. You don't do this. And I was like, all right. And so that's exactly what I did. And I started. In the first few of them songs was horrible. I'll tell you that. I had to take a couple L's. I was just like, to me, I thought they were great, but them first few songs was horrible. So that was it.
And how did you get that feedback? Or did you get feedback about it being horrible? Or is it just a self uh,
That was no, that wasn't feedback. That was the god awful truth back. You know what I mean? Uh, they weren't and I won't say they're horrible. They needed more. You know what I mean? And I was just thought I was doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? It was the first few times I recorded for like over like the last almost, I won't say 20 years, but the last 15 years was like at that time I was like, shoot, I haven't recorded anything. Then I went to a studio, recorded, where I made another song that some people are like, man, I still love this song, but it's just, it's not upload worthy.
mhm.
It's just one of those things that's just like, I did this for me. It was something I did for me. It wasn't something that I was like, I'm gonna do it for somebody else. But I knew I had a knack for it. I knew I could sing, and I knew I could write. And I was like, well, I'm gonna just keep chipping at it. And I did. And learned the technical aspects, went back to school for engineering, and like here we are now. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, just well, I was listening. I was kind of listening to your throwback music, 2020. I can't remember the title, but as I was walking, I was like, "Oh, okay." And I've seen or heard the progression of your voice
Hmm.
from
Yeah.
2020 to date, and I'm just like, "Wow." It's like night and day. Not saying that you are horrible, like you said you said you
No,
were,
no, I
which
know what you mean.
I don't think you are. I think your voice is amazing. So
Oh, thank you.
kudos to you two actually going forth and exploring more of how you can promote your music and your voice. Which is really interesting. I don't want to belabor this, but when you went back to engineering, what did you learn? Like, give us a tidbit of maybe a couple pointers that you've learned on how to um, mimic or manipulate your music or your voice to
Um,
the beats.
so that was something that I figured out a long time ago. Somebody was like, "Man, you just ride the beat very well," and so a lot of it is my delivery is based off of how the song, like it's off obviously the BPMs, you know what I mean, but then also like the drum, you
Mm,
know. I base a lot of my stuff off the drum. Like, how does the drum sound? How does this sound? And the aggression of the song. You know what I mean? Like, if the song is going to be a little bit more aggressive, I guess, or assertive, what I want to say, um, then how do I want to deliver something? You know what I mean? So it sounds well, and that was one of the things that I was looking at. And I was just like, okay, if I'm going to deliver it this way, I got to see what the song is telling me, what the beat is telling me. So I can have this, because a lot of the music that I would make was the beat came first and then I wrote around the beat. It wasn't
right.
like I had a song ready to go and then made a beat to it.
Mm,
No, it was just basically the beat was there. And then what does it make me feel in order for me to
yeah.
create something? So yeah, that was actually like the creative process for me. And then yeah, I mean, for the most part, that was it. I don't
Oh
know
wow.
what else really to say all to that. Just whatever's making me feel, that's what I want to how I want to deliver it. Now, as far as like ideas or whatever, a lot of my ideas on music are like uh the overall theme of the song and things like that. I base that a lot of off of my life. Not every single thing, because there's some stuff where I'm all like, we're gonna go fantasy and talk about some wild stuff. But for the most part, you'll hear me, like, you never hear me like killing anybody in any songs. You know what I mean? I'm not shooting anybody. I'll talk about it, but it's not about me shooting. It's just about what I see and what I perceive in music and things like that. Um, and I think Vertical might have been, I have a song called Vertical. That might be the only one where I'm all like, I'm about to clap, clap. You know what I'm saying? That might be the one song I'm all like, we about to unload in these cats,
Uh-oh.
And even that song's not really about that. It's just about, you know what I mean? I got to stay alive. I keep it moving. I got to keep it on vertical, baby. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be on horizontal. I got to keep it on vertical. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I really love your song Shadow Work. And
yes.
it definitely depicts your life story, or at least I would think the story that you've lived. It was a very deep song, so I really enjoyed that.
I definitely appreciate that. It took me a couple years to write that song. I'm not even gonna lie, or a year and a half actually. But yeah, it took me a while to write that because that came from the darkness. It's called shadow work. You know what I mean? I was in the dark,
Yeah.
and it didn't even really tap on the darkest moments of everything, but just little tidbits and pieces that that I knew I had to work on in order for me
Right.
to get to feeling better. Everybody needs to do shadow work. You got to look at the bad parts of yourself and make peace with it. You know what I mean? You have to, in order for you to progress on in this life, you just got to. And that's not just being like, oh, I don't have anything wrong with me. No, everybody has shadow work,
Yeah.
everybody has. They have a shadow side. You're born in the light. You also have a shadow. You're not going to have light and not have a shadow behind you. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
that's impossible. So you got to work on that shadow side of yourself.
Very true. I'm a work in progress always.
It never stops. So
So, what challenges have you faced during your journey in becoming this music artist?
one of the biggest challenges I faced was divorce. When I got divorced, not really the divorce, but the moments that while I was married, like not getting support. You know what I mean? Not nobody actually really truly believing in you. But yet and still, I was able to, you know, what people didn't understand is that like that is literally the power that I need for somebody to tell me what I can't do. Don't tell me
Mm,
what I don't tell me what to do, and don't tell me what I can't do. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna do exactly what it is you tell me I can't do. So long as my intentions are good, you know what I mean? So as long as it's coming through a positive intention. So with that being said, um, it was just really the challenges of not having that support group or whatever. And I don't know what it is. Like early on about me, I felt like there was a lot of people that were just against me, and you know what I mean, like you can't do that, or you can't do that, or whatever. Or just let's just say, oh, that's John. You know what I mean? Or oh, that's Jacob. I should say John's my real name, just for people to know. But um, oh, that's Jacob. You know, he's I was always pushed off as that dude's not that smart. He's not really the intelligent guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know any of that. And I love it. I love it when people. I just sat up here and was talking to a friend about this, and I was just love it. And I was just like, I love it when people count me out.
right.
Please count me out. Please count me out. Next thing you know, my foot is in your throat. That's how I feel. That's just how I feel about it. Count me out, please,
Oh boy.
please. Please, I need that fuel. If you don't want a big dog on you, you know what I mean? Because I got that dog in me. Count me out. Like, don't count me out. You know what I mean? Now I'm all over the place, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, I will be at your throat
Uh,
when you count me out, and I'm not, and it's not going to be something that's aggressive too. That's a beautiful part about it. It's like I'm not coming at you sideways. I'm not going to come at you. It's just going to be like very, 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 very subtle. And people are going to look back and they're going to be like, good Lord, did you realize what this dude just did? You see what look at all this? Oh my God. Okay. Now people, I think, kind of know, you know what I mean? Don't ever count me out. That's
mm,
it. That's the simple, god awful truth about it. I was a huge giver. I give, I have a big heart, and I don't mind giving and supporting other people. Don't count me out though. You don't want me to make it to the top? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that you can do to help to keep me from getting there. You know what I mean? But at
yes.
the same, but if you want me, if you count me out, if you feel like, nah, this dude, he can't do it. You know what I mean? I will, in all means, make sure that happens. So,
Which leads us to the next question. How have you persevered despite the challenges? And I think you kind of answered a little bit with the dog in the fight. But
yeah, yeah, that
can
dog
you
in me,
elaborate? Can you elaborate a little further on what how you persevered despite it?
passion.
Mm,
I'm so passionate about it. You, Terry Josiah, who is the CEO down in Anthem Music, where I recorded my EP, he said something about it, and passion is a Latin root word for, and I'm not going to say what the word is, so I know I'm gonna butcher it, but I think it's passo or whatever,
oh,
which is
okay.
you know what I mean. So, which leads us, that's the root word for it, and actually means to suffer for
Mm,
what it is that you love. We literally suffer in this, and and he said that, and it hit me. It was strong. I was all like, dude, I'll go through anything to make sure that I can succeed and
yeah.
be happy. You know what I mean? I'm, I don't mind doing that. You know what I mean? Barring that it hurts someone. You know what I mean? So I'm not to the passionate point where I was all like, I'm gonna kill everybody if I don't get on my way. Like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm about. I'm about love and light and making sure that everybody has. And the craziest part about it in this life is that everybody has a seat at the table. They just have to come sit down. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Stop looking at everybody else sitting down and come sit your ass down.
Yeah.
Stop thinking that the greatest thing since microwave popcorn. Sure, you need to have a little bit of that. this is music, dog. Not everybody's gonna like your music. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. Not everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, he's the best. Oh, you know, it eats me
It's
up. So
yeah. It's the ego. It's the ego in
yeah,
our human form. So,
yep.
um,
You gotta keep it in check.
so what was your best collaboration?
Ooh, this is a good one. I did read this one. Um, my best collaboration was with Aco NASA up to date. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, Granted, I've had some really dope collaborations with JJ Sharp, Zofia, and Autumn Corin, who is phenomenal. And I have other ones that I really, really am like, man, I really can't wait to sink my teeth into a track and get Merch, who was the producer, you
Mhm.
know, to actually make a song with him. That's the one I'm really super excited about. But my best one up to date is with Aco NASA for sure. The energy is just legit. Like I feel
Yeah.
like him and I are just like sometimes I'm like, dude, like we gotta be related some way because like we don't miss a beat. I don't miss a beat. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? And he has that, you know how he sounds. He's got that brash, you know,
Uh-huh.
a
Uh-huh.
little bit, he's got that rough edge to him. And then I come and I hit him with the, you know, come with, you know, that surgical tactic, you know what I mean? Tactician, you know, and I tell you what, that it matches well. That stuff comes together really well. So that's my dog too. So
Yeah, he's really cool. I can't wait to till he comes back on here. We're supposed to collaborate soon, so hopefully, I know that
nice.
he has a song that's out too.
He
But
does. It's dope
definitely,
too.
yeah, you guys are, but all of you. I always have to give a shout out to ACO, ACO Colorado. Like you guys are just dope. I mean, all the artists there. Um, with that being said, name three artists that you would like to open up a show for.
I am sorry. Will you repeat that question one more
Okay.
time? I was trying to get my do not disturb on here because people
And,
like to be like, yo, Kxng Jacob, like right in the middle of an interview. So
uh, name three artists that you would like to open up a show for.
three artists I would like to open up a show for. Um, do they have to be like bigger artists or it doesn't matter who it is?
Doesn't matter.
Well, one artist that I will always open up for is Aco NASA. Like if I was had a you know had a show, or if he had another headlining show, I'd love to open up for Aco NASA, get that crowd hype. That's my boy. I'll put it down for him. You know what I'm saying? So um, him, and then another artist that I would love to open up for that I think would fit with me. Of course, you know, people are like, oh, Drake and all this other stuff and things like that. But like
Oh
Lil
yeah.
Wayne, yeah, the energy of Lil Wayne, I'm all like, yo, we're gonna get after it. Um, I would do it. I would love to open up for Lil Wayne. And then another dude that I like is a lot is Wale.
Okay. Yeah.
Wale's dope. He's slept on. He's dope. My man, he's a lyricist, but he has so much charisma behind it. Like it's like the swag goo that drips off of Wale when he's on stage is just immense. You know what I mean? I think he's a dope artist. You know, he should get more credit.
Hmm. Me too. I really like Wale.
Plus,
Okay.
I think I can cross the boundaries with that too because you know he's like a new LL. He's like a reinvented LL Cool J to me. Like my man, he can kill you with some lyrics, but you know what I'm saying. He actually has a lot of like swag that goes along with it, you know, and he does a lot of stuff for the women too. You know what I mean? And ladies love him. You know.
Yeah. Same to you. You have a lot of swag too. With
Oh, thank you. I just watch. I'm a student to this, so I watch and I try to make sure that I do the same thing, but not exactly the same with my own flair. So
yeah, I really like it. I mean, I can tell that well, I don't think you pigeonhole your genre. I think it's a vast array of genres in your song and how you depict the romance, which I
mhm.
really, really enjoy. A lot of ladies, I'm sure I could speak, I'll speak for them. They, they enjoy.
Okay.
um, do you read music, like music sheets, or like play an instrument? If so, please elaborate.
I don't. I learned a long time ago. I started playing the trumpet when I was younger, and I wish I would have continued playing it. But it is something that I can read a little bit of it. You know what I mean? Play some chords and
Okay.
get beats and everything going. I don't really read any music except for lyrics that I write down for the most part. But I would. That's a skill that actually I would. When I get to a good point, I'm gonna sit back down and do it. I want to know every little aspect of it from the music business down to the singular note that I need to hit. You know what I mean? So,
Right. Okay. Sounds very methodical. Every time I think of Sagittarius, I think of my son. I think we discussed that earlier, early on, because he's the same way. If he's trying to
mm,
start something, he wants to know the basic, the foundation of it,
yes.
like art and drawing. But nonetheless, what steps do you take when creating music?
Steps that I take when creating music. First off, the very first thing that I do is listen to the beat over and over and over again. And I'm pretty sure that my daughter hates me because of it. Like we'll be riding in the car and I'll be playing something over and over and over again because I just gotta feel it. I gotta feel what it's telling me. Now, when it's another artist and they're like, "Hey, we jump on this?" and they like send me something and they already got a concept, like it's a little bit easier there. But when it's a fresh concept for
Mm,
me, um, it's very much so like, what is this song making you feel? Because
mhm,
if you go off your feelings with the song, then you'll know exactly how you're supposed to
mhm,
deliver the song in the first place. Because if the song is making me feel like I'm excited, then I want to be excited when I'm coming across, with the song. I want to make sure that the lyrics that I write are exciting lyrics. You know what I mean? Or if I'm making a song like Shadow Work and I'm all like, this is a little deep and it's hitting me in a place that I'm vulnerable at.
mhm,
Well, I got to make sure that I write and have a vulnerable delivery. You know what I mean, to go along
right.
with that. Like that one, it was like I need to make sure that I'm not rapping fast. I got to make
Mhm,
sure that you know, I'm riding to the beat, but then also make the tone of my voice, and I need to make sure that my voice tone is good too as well.
mhm.
So all that plays a part, and so it's just a step by step process for the most part for me.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like doing that replay of the beat. That's too funny
Mhm.
how you say your daughter doesn't like it when she has to hear the beat.
And I don't know if she likes it or not. I just know that she's probably annoyed with her dad that plays this song over and over and over again. But nowadays, I'm not even gonna lie, she's like, Dad, I want to write with you. Let me, so I have some
Nice.
songs that she's actually harmonizing with me in the background just because I want her to start by just like understanding like the process and her
Uh-huh.
building her own process behind it. You know what I mean? She's just like, I can't really sing that well and this, that, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
nah, you can sing. As long as you can hold a note, you can sing, you know. And somebody's gonna like that. You don't have to be some resounding singer has all these riffs and all this other stuff. Don't get me wrong. I think those people are extremely talented and they deserve to be in the area that they're at. But I'm all like, there's a lane for you, no
Mhm.
matter what. Like I was saying, back in the day, you would have been boxed in an area. An unpopular opinion of mine, Aaliyah, God rest her soul. I loved her to death. I think she was a phenomenal artist, very beautiful, mediocre singer, personally. You know what I mean? When it comes down to that. But she wasn't a great singer with what she had, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was a great singer with what she had, and how they delivered her and everything. And I wish that's one of the things I wish I could have seen is like to see where she would have taken off with her
Mm.
skills, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Um, I mean, she was such a great singer that she even played in a movie prior
Hmm.
to her passing. So
Yep.
I do remember that. It was an unfortunate event.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But
Yeah.
she was a star though, and that's
Yeah.
just to go and show you. So and I don't think my daughter wants to pursue it in that way. It's just more of a good creative outlet, which is cool because that's how I started. I was like, this is a creative outlet, but I'm
Yeah.
good, and people are like, I want to hear more of that, and this, so that's how it
Yeah.
starts. That's how it works.
Yeah, definitely I can relate to annoying my kids because when I'm in the car, I'll play affirmations
Yep.
repeatedly and they're like, "Can you not play that, mom?" I'm like, "No, I blast it." So it's really
Yeah.
funny. But anyway, it just kind of like brought me back to that with my
It's
kids.
all good. I have to hold my tongue because I can go on and on about why affirmations are good and how they actually work too. But
Uh,
well, that'll be for another show, I guess. We can do a spiritual enlightenment show.
yeah, yeah. I think we did kind of we spoke about that early on. But yes, the most definitely, and I'll let you know after the show what I have planned.
Ooh,
Uh,
yes.
yeah. So, do you like the virtual or in person platform, and why?
With this, like the show.
Anything. It could be
Oh,
from singing or like
okay,
actual like delivering your music content on the internet as opposed to live events. Let's just narrow it to that.
okay, okay. So I think that I like both for the most part. Um, Obviously you want, live is going to give you that intimate setting where you can feel people's energy a little bit more, you know what I mean? You get their reaction from everything that you're doing, but if you're not a person that's kind of outward, you're more like this person that's a little bit more inward type person, you might like the one that's like, well, okay, just putting music out there, because I know a lot of artists that they don't go and perform, they just make music, put it out, make music, put it out, you know what I mean? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, but I like both. I like both. I like to feel the energy while I'm there and seeing the crowd respond to my performance. And then I also like actually putting my music out there and then seeing the numbers go up and things like that and seeing how people respond toward it that way. I've got a lot of responses actually, which actually really kind of surprised me, not so much, but the amount and from specific people, the people that responded that I'm like, huh, I had no idea that you're even listening. You know what I mean? And they're like, man, this is dope. This is a good ass album. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's
Yeah.
great. So both of them have their equal parts that I love.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's surprising when people are actually listening to your stuff, like how we're talking now on this podcast or talk show, and you're like, there, you get feedback like, oh, hey, I want to, I
Yeah.
want to, I want to go on your show. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
It's really cool though. Think back to a situation when it was difficult to meet a project deadline. What did you learn from that experience?
Preparation.
Mm,
I don't have anything specific that I can really refer to. I was trying to figure that one out. Yeah, I don't really, but I know that preparation is the most important thing to being able to get your project deadline. That in lessons that I've learned in the past, even in school, making sure your assignments in on time. Don't procrastinate.
mm,
Prepare yourself. It's funny because it's like in music, you don't like. For me, I say this: don't rush, but at the same time, don't procrastinate, even if you're not making huge steps, huge strides, always work on a little bit of something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then you can actually get to that point. But preparation is huge, making sure your mic works, everything's set and ready to go because, um, when it comes time to record, that's when you got to be ready to go.
yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be worrying about like, okay, is the volume up the way it's supposed to be or whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. Not when it's showtime. It's time to go. You got to make sure you're ready to go already. So
Yeah. Okay, well, share an experience illustrating how your communication style makes you an effective artist.
direct, direct communication. Don't no, I don't want. I'm not sitting up here trying to decode anything. Direct communication. Now, when it comes to down to rap music and things like that, of course, we're going to use uh, what am I trying to say? Like we play on words and different things like that. You're gonna do things, where you're like, it's don't wordplay. You know what I'm saying? So you get it, you understand. Like, sure, that's part of the strategy when it comes down to making music. Like you want to play on words as well.
Mhm.
Um, but in business side of things, it's all like I only want to hear what's pertinent. I learned that as an EMT.
Mhm.
Doctors don't want to listen to you deliver information to them unless it pertains toward the care of this patient.
Mhm.
Other than that, the rest is obsolete. Let's just keep it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Don't just give me the information that I can't use. I'm a stickler in that. It drives me insane when people ramble on and they're talking about all this other stuff, and I'm all like, bro, or I'm like, girl, yo, I can't use none of that. Like, please just get to the point. I'm such a straight to the point type person. Like, I don't want to hear any of that other stuff. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I'm not rude to them and just cut them all the way off, but sometimes I got to. If they're just rambling on, I just like, yo, no, be straight and direct with everything that you say. Be
Yeah.
intentional with your words too.
Right.
Be intentional with your words. Like, you know what I mean? Because if
Yeah.
you tell me something, all I can go off of is what you tell me. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Yeah.
if you tell me something, that's it. That's all I know is the fact that you said this, and that's what I'm going off of. I'm gonna take that for face value what you're saying. If you're not gonna, you know what I mean? So be direct with me, I'll be direct with you. Be intentional with what it is that you're speaking.
Mm.
That's it.
Yes, yes, most definitely, because it's an urgency. Life is an urgency at times, and so I
At
definitely
times. Yeah.
understand.
Yep.
So, how do you stay inspired producing your music? And we talked a little bit about the rotation, your new EP on rotation. What was the inspiration behind that?
So I didn't have an album name when I first came up with that album.
Okay.
But so the way I kind of stay inspired is just with everyday life. You know what I mean? Whatever is going on through life. There's small lessons in everything that I sing or I rap or whatever. I always like inject something that's like, this is a lesson that you need to learn. This is it.
Oh,
And I'll throw that in there. Um, but it's like, as far as the inspiration, it could be anything. I get inspired by a lot of things. I go on a walk and be like, man, I was really inspired by this.
yeah.
Or because honestly, life is a song ready to be made.
Mm,
That's it. If you really look at it from a creative standpoint, there's so many different things that you can make songs about. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So draw inspiration from anything, from anywhere that you're at. So when it came down to rotation, the one thing I knew I wanted to do was sing. And
Mm.
that's the one thing that I knew that Anthem did very, very well is
Huh.
produce some really dope singers. So I was like, okay, let's do that. Let's sing. Let's get after it. Let's go out there and let's sing. Let's do just that. And we we came up with all the songs. I didn't even have a name for the album until later on. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, I was gonna call it this or whatever. I think I was gonna call it what was the name that I was going for? Um, I thought about just calling it all night long because that was like the staple song that I had. But I was like, nah, it's corny. But I kept thinking about what would what would be a dope name that resonates with the album that people would be like, oh, rotation. You know what I mean? That was the thing that hit. Put it in rotation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you play? Like that's the biggest thing. It's like I just want people to play it. Put it in rotation. Now it has a deeper meaning because rotating is all about evolution, right?
Yeah.
So we evolve, and life is comes full circle in a sense. So that was one of the biggest things that I like. I wanted to make sure that was put in there is that like this is an evolution of King Jacob. Like I didn't do all these other songs just to make a terrible album. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I wanted to make something that was really good, and like this is the evolution of everything. And I even thought about even calling the album Evolution, but I was like, I think somebody call it Evolution, but Rotation would be a good one.
Huh.
You go around the world over and over again, and we keep rotating around this. So it just was a no brainer.
I love it. I love it.
And then
Okay.
one other thing too, I don't know if you know, but I have an anagram. It's a crown and it spins. It just rotates around.
Huh.
You have to look at
Okay.
my page, but I have a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
them, and it's an anagram. It just spins around in a circle, and I'm all like, yeah, that's what I want. I want my album called Rotation, and it's just representing that crown, the evolution,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
a
Yeah.
revolution, the revolution of the evolution. Yeah, you know what I mean? The revolution,
Right.
rotation. Yeah. So
I love it. I love it. Especially the meaning behind it. And it's not just a fad type of meaning, it's an actual, solid meaning to life.
yes.
So, most definitely. What's the first thing you listen for in a new recording?
Again, the drums, how they hit.
Okay.
Drums are a big deal. Or get and then what type of other sounds are in it, and do they play a part in the beat? You know what I mean? There's a beat that I think this producer sent to me, and I was like, man, this is a really dope beat. You know what I mean? But I just he had these other sounds that was in it, and I was like, I just can't even do anything with it because these other sounds was just throwing me off.
Hmm.
Because it just didn't fit. Like everything has to fit. So
Hmm.
the first thing is the drums and how they hit, and then the next thing would be like the uh not necessarily strings or wind or whatever, but what other organic sounds that we can put in there that kind of, whether it's a synth sound, whether it's just going to be more of a modern sound from a trumpeter or something like that, or piano. I'll listen to those sounds and how it feels. But really, it's the drum is basically where I'm going to start off at. I'm gonna be like, okay, this hits hard, like right here. And that's because my delivery, when it comes down to you rhyming and stuff on time, it always bases off the drum. No matter if I'm singing, no matter if I'm rapping, whatever it is, you got to hit these markers, and the
Right.
drum plays a huge, important part.
Hmm.
Bass is the drum. Yep.
Hmm.
Most of the drum, though.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's really interesting, and I'm just thinking about how you guys had that event, and you had the drummer, you had Daniel there, you had,
Hmm.
your DJ solo, and Aiko and you. It was just,
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm missing anybody else, but I thought that was like a harmony type of
Oh
event.
yeah.
Like you guys
Oh yeah.
really did your thing. So
Yeah. 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 Solo. Shout out to Solo, Aiko, um, uh, Daniel. You know what I mean, on the drums. That boy is bad too.
yeah.
I can't wait to do something with him and utilize his talent because he is so good. So in shadow work, he hit some drums and he was going hard in that hook, and I was just, with everything. And then as I start rapping, he brings the tone down, and I was just that was huge. I was like, yo, that is really dope. And the response, shadow work gets the biggest response out of any song that I've ever made, though.
Yes.
Everybody's like, yo, shadow work.
Yeah.
I'm all like, man, I need a Grammy for that one.
Yeah.
Shadow Work is the one that people they always are just like, man, this is a dope song. I really love the song. So I really like that song too. So um yeah, it's just Daniel is phenomenal when he hits those drums, and everything that we did that night was just really, really dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One day I want to come up there when your next show. I'm gonna make it a point to come down and see you guys, or up wherever. Like,
Yeah,
because I'm in
wherever. You
Virginia.
come over. Just say come
Yeah,
over.
come
Come
over.
on over. Yeah. Um yeah. Yes, you should. I don't know what other questions you had, but I was about
Oh,
to just start talking about other stuff that I'm gonna try to work on. But yeah, you should.
oh, okay. Well, we can do that after I have like a few more questions.
Sure.
Um, the next one is, what is one important lesson that you've learned in working in the music industry?
One important lesson that I learned working in the music industry is get it in a contract.
Mm,
Ma- Get a contract. Contractual
right.
obligations. That's that's what holds everybody accountable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Make sure it's written down in contract because you always have something that's viable to go to be like, no, you said you're going to do this, and this reflects what it is that you said. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing is biggest lessons. Make sure you put it down in contract. Um, and then yeah, that's actually pretty much that's the biggest for the most part. And then again, like I read people's energy. So if there's people that like, some people come to me and they're like, I want to work with you. And I'm, if they're off, I'm gonna just be like, no. Like, or you know what I mean? Like I'll just tell them straightforward, I don't want to work with you. You have to. You can't work with every single person. Even though people want to work with you, but
Yeah.
um and then you got to understand where you're at in your journey when it comes
Right.
down to that. Like, is that a space that you want to be in where you're giving
Uh,
yourself in your own time toward that? Is that going to be good for you too as well? You know what I mean? Like, is it going to mesh well? Like, I get people all the time like, yo, how much for a verse, or how much for this, or how much for that? I'm like, whoa, gear down. I don't even know what you do. You know what I mean? What you thought? I'm a verse for like a Bible verse? I'll give you those for free. What you want? You know what I mean? So you just gotta you gotta play it by ear. You know what I'm saying?
Here, let me pop out with my Bible right quick.
Yeah,
Jeremiah,
exactly. Let me pop up.
Jeremiah 11,
Exactly.
11.
John 3:16 play up.
Oh my gosh. See, that's what I miss about you. Um, if you weren't producing music, what would you be doing?
I If I wasn't making music, what would I be doing? I would probably be trying to make money one way or another. Like that is my overall. It's like how can I keep this foundation going? Um, when I'm not making music, I'll just say it like that. Like, are you saying just overall the grand scheme of things? I probably would be a chef. It'd be like a big dude just up there
What?
cooking. Yeah, I love to cook. I love to cook. That was one thing that I was very, very passionate about. I was so passionate about it that I didn't do it as a job because I love it that much. And I
Oh,
knew that if I did it for work, I probably would not love it as much unless I was
yeah.
like one of those celebrity chefs. But that wasn't the route that I went. I guess I could. I could still go back and do that. You know what I'm saying? Cooking with King Jacob. That's what would be the show name. So you know what I mean?
You're right, right. Okay, okay. I'll have to be your assistant too, because I mean,
I,
I can do a little something in the kitchen, just a little something. But
let's go. Let's go.
no, that's cool. Wow. So everybody, King Jacob might be starting his own restaurant soon. Just
Yeah.
FYI,
There'll
put
be a restaurant eventually. That's for sure. That is definitely for sure. You go get a restaurant. It's going to be some Asian fusion something. I can tell you that right now. So
okay.
there'll be a restaurant. Yeah. It's going to be Asian soul, Asian ribs,
Oh, that
Asian
sounds
collard
good.
greens.
Oh man,
Asian collard greens.
I'm
Yeah.
getting hungry. I'm getting hungry now.
Me too. I got to stop talking about it because, yeah.
Oh Lord. So, how has the internet and social media influenced your career?
Oh, tremendously. That's like where everybody is seen. You know what I mean? So actually being able to have that as a tool for you to get your music out, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
So I mean, without it, like, I don't know how else I would really go about it. Like back in the day, it was just like you burn a bunch of CDs or tapes. Like I'm from the tape era. You know what I mean? Where and then you'd be like, yo, I got these, this, that, and other. My boy he would make music and he would burn the CDs and give them away.
Wow.
He was like, I got music, boom, 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 and give them to people, you know? And then he was like, I felt like I got a better response out of giving stuff from people, which he did. He was at a barbershop and I think Kenya Martin was there, the basketball player, when he played for the Nuggets. And he was like, gave him the album. And then Kenya Martin listened to it. And then next time he seen him, Kenya Martin was like, here goes $20 for you. And I was all like, word? And he was like, hey, he gave me $20 right after that. And was like, that's what that's worth. I was like,
Wow.
wow. Like, keep doing it. Keep pushing it. You know what I
Wow.
mean? He just wanted to get his music out. But well, God rest his soul, my guy passed away. But if he was able to
Wow.
continue on with that and make more music, he would have been
Wow.
that would have been his career. Just
Yeah.
wasn't the path for him. But I try to, keep him with me in my heart. and remember why he was doing his thing when I go and do my thing. And I know he was a good friend of mine. I know he's Martell Jackson. You know what I mean? I know he's looking down at me and he's proud, being like, man, that's my boy right there. And he's keeping it going. And that's part of, actually, that's another big inspiration of mine and why I keep doing it.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think a lot of times it's a good, since there wasn't any social media back then, right? Marketing and how you
Hmm.
market yourself and
Yep.
your music. So definitely, I did. There was a guy, I don't know, probably about a year or two ago. He was selling CDs. I mean, sometimes people are still in the gas stations, selling
Hmm.
CDs, and I contributed to his effort, and I was like, well, keep up the good work. Like,
Yeah.
I think CDs should come back.
Yeah.
But
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. People still like CDs.
right. So, if you could change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Bring CDs back. No, I'm joking. Um,
Yeah, right.
no. Uh, I would want more transparency with people. Like
Mhm.
everybody seems to be scheming a little bit and
Yeah.
tries to be like, I got to be this, I got to be that. More openness, like you know what I mean. You don't have to be a snake just because people are
Uh,
snakes. You know what I mean. You can be
yeah.
whatever you want. You know what I mean. You can do whatever you want. This is an open, wide open lane. Um, I've talked to a lot of actually bigger artists, even through Instagram, that I was actually which is surprises the mess out of me, to be honest, that I'm even able to talk to them through this, which is another important reason why Instagram has changed, like
Uh
internet
huh.
and everything has changed everything, because uh I believe that um it is a big deal. It is a big, big deal to be able to be transparent. You know what I
Right.
mean? And be a little bit more vulnerable with your music. You don't have to be sobbing and stuff. You don't got to be rod
Right.
waves. I think this dude is crying or whatever. I don't know. But for him, it works. Like people love that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So be a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more open with your music and then the way that you conduct yourself. And then if you say you're going to do something, do it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Don't stop trying to get the best of it, because there's always going to be somebody better than you. Like my music isn't the best thing out there. I just love making music and people like it. You know what I mean? And I know that about myself and I'm able to talk about that. There's a lot of power in that, and being authentic and just being like, you know what, I'm honing in on this and what I do best. And that's it. I'm not a cocky dude that's out there being like, I'm the best at this and this, that, and the other, and none of y'all can compare to what I got. And this, no, I'm not like that. I think everybody, because music has lanes and not everybody's going to like your music. So,
Right. Just like, if you talk about coffee or whatever flavor you like, I mean,
whatever.
not,
Exactly.
not everyone likes black coffee, and not
Yeah.
everyone likes a specific black coffee because it goes. I've done,
Hmm.
this whole intermittent fasting before, and you can tell because I'm like, I had a coworker, and he used to just drink straight black coffee every morning, and I'm like, how do how can you tell what's the difference between the black coffees? And he's like, you can, trust me, like the boldness or the flavor, the tones of the
Hmm.
coffee bean. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I actually, you can.
Yeah.
I tested it out, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. You definitely can too. Yeah, I get it. You know.
So what was the best advice ever given to you?
Yes. Best advice that I was ever given to me that I always would share to everybody else is to follow your heart. Follow your heart. That's it.
Okay.
That's the secret to life too. And some people can, but you have to hone in and you have to do your shadow work in order to be able to follow your heart. Because I'm serious. Because some people's heart's desires, like they'd be like, "Oh, that's right. It's in my heart. I really want." Like you're being misled and misguided by something else. You know what I mean? But if you listen, if you sit still enough and you listen to your inner voice and your inner guidance, you will make it to wherever your destination is going to be. You know what I mean? You just, I listened to J. Cole and he's all like, you know what? You look at this mark and you're aiming for that, but you're not aiming for that mark. You're actually aiming past that mark.
Mm,
Once you get that mark where you want to get, look past that mark, aim
right,
past that mark. You'll well exceed what it is that you're trying to do. And the best thing that you can do is to follow your heart in order to
right,
get there. It's not about what everybody else. If I listen to everybody else, I'm not singing. If I listen to everybody else, I'm not rapping. If
right.
I listen to everybody else, I'm, you know what I mean, and
Yeah,
what they're like, well, I think you should do this. You know what I mean? Oh, that's great. I appreciate you telling me that, but I'm gonna do exactly what I want to do when it comes down to me and my desires of what it is that I want to do. Because if I sat up here and listened to these naysayers tell me that I can't rap and I can't sing, there is no King Jacob.
that's true. So what's the point of it all, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
why even do music? So
exactly. Right.
yeah,
Exactly. There wouldn't be any reason if I'm listening to everybody else, you know.
yeah.
So I listen to myself for the most part when it comes down to it and what it is that I want to do.
Mm,
Yes.
most definitely. Just like I'm listening to my stomach with that Korean barbecue ribs that you're talking about. See, now it's in my mind. And I'm like, well,
Right.
I had a salad. I think I'm good for tonight, but I don't know. Now it's changing. Um, so what is next for King Jacob, and what message would you like to give your fans and up and coming artists?
What is next for King Jacob? Well, right now I'm like for me, I'm working on these other projects with everybody else, and then next year I want to start working on another project. I'm working on projects for other people, but I want to work on another project for myself next year. And I'm getting back to the rap music on this one. I'm like, okay, now we can do some more. You know what I mean? And I'm actually gonna dig deep in the bag with this one and start doing a little bit more lyrics. Like you know, I'm coming for the throne.
Okay.
I'm
So,
a king. I'm supposed to sit on the throne. I'm coming for a throne for real.
all
And
right.
people better come with their A game. And if they're not ready, they're gonna get ran over. That's it. That's the way I look at it, though. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is actually apply pressure for real. That's what I'm about to do. I'm apply some real pressure. Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like you're gonna do some shadow work.
Yeah. Shadow work is always gonna happen. Shadow work always needs to happen.
Hint, hint.
It's always needs to happen.
Uh,
Always needs to happen.
I was like hint, hint, because we really like your shadow work song.
I know. There'll be more. That's actually the lane, a little bit more boom bap style stuff that I'm going to be getting into too. So I'm trying to find some producers. There'll be a small project I think that might not have that full element to it,
Mhm.
but like when it comes down to that full album and like a complete album, not just these EPs where it's 5 songs, but like something where I might throw like 15 songs on the track. That's an album. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And what would you like? What advice would you like to give the music artists?
Don't give up. Just work at it day by day, little by little. There's a step. Follow that step. Keep going. You know what I mean? Like don't always work on something. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Even if it's just the smallest, like I just need this to sound better. You know what I mean? Or be like, I just want to work on trying to get this drum up. Even if you don't get there, you can take a step back, but always work at it. Don't give up on that dream because there's always somebody else that's hungry. Someone that's always going to be hungrier than you. You know what I mean? I know a lot of fabulous artists out there
mm.
um, who are amazing right here in Colorado who can be up there with the giants. Actually,
Yeah, wow.
I know some. I know some dudes that can be up there with the giants, like real goats. You know what I mean? Like I do know a few of those people. And like my boy, he always zigzag. He's always like, "You're a goat. You're a goat." And I'm just like, "Well, I appreciate that." I don't look at myself as a goat, but I do inspire to be one. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, but I appreciate it. So yeah, I just tell everybody just keep working at it little by little. every day working a little bit of something.
Okay. Well, you heard the man. You heard King Jacob. So always work on something.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter
always working on something.
how big, how small it is.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, sir. And be sure to subscribe, like, and comment to view all
Yes.
the episodes of In the Know 360 on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And make sure you follow King Jacob. And is there any other platform you would like to tell the audience to follow you on?
Uh, my daughter would love this. You follow me on Pinterest. She was being goofy and she was all acting like she was a rapper and she was all like, you can find me on Spotify, Apple. I'm on Pinterest. I was like, oh, you're a mess. No, there's nothing else that I have right now. I'm working on my website through United Masters right at the moment, where people will
Okay.
actually be able to go and be like, this is all King Jacob. So we're working on that right
Nice.
now.
Oh, I love it. Hey, don't downplay Pinterest now. I love my DIY stuff on there. I'll be finished though.
Right. That's where my food stuff's gonna be. So hey, look out for King Jacob's Kitchen on Pinterest. Okay.
Hey, look, I will be for real.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, let's continue to support the Unity for Social Justice and Free Yo and others that need support. This has been a broadcast of showing love full circle between NNO 360 and King Jacob. Please hold tight, sir. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a blessed evening. Salute.
Salute.